Hello guys, I welcome you back to JN Graphic Tutorials. In this section of tutorial, we are going to learn how to design a tourism promotion flyer. But before then, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I would like you to subscribe to JN Graphic Tutorials for more amazing graphic design content. So first of all, let's head on to our Photoshop and start creating our document. So I'll just click on my new and I make sure that the width of the flyer is 2000. The height of the flyer is also 2000. I will leave the resolution to be 300. Then I will make sure that it is on pixel. Then the color mode should be RGB color because it is going to be a social media flyer. So let's hit on create. So this is the background that we are going to work on for our today's session of tutorial. So quickly, let me go to view and go to my guides and go to my new guide layout. So I will just apply this so that I will know that everything that I'm doing is just in alignment. So first of all, I will just create a solid background. So I will just go to my panel here and create a solid background. So I'll make sure that I type a code of, or I use a color code of 0CA4C5. So this is actually the color code that we are going to use for our background. So quickly, I will just go to my eraser here. Then I apply my eraser. I will make sure that the hardness of the eraser is on 0. Then I will just move the eraser a little bit upwards. Then I will create this kind of effect in the center of the background, the solid background, something like this. Very nice and beautiful. So after I'm done with this, I will just go on and start importing my resources. So first of all, I'll go to my file and go to my place link and go to where my resources are. So the first resource I'm going to place is this link. Then I will just push it upward, something like this. I'll make sure that it is selected and I'll pick my eraser. Then I will just clean this part of this image, something like this. Very nice and beautiful. So I will get something like this. So I will select this and I make sure that I change the blending option to linear bend. So after I'm done with this, I will quickly take my text 2. Then I will create a box here. Then I will start typing. So I will type something like tourism, something like this. Then I will select it. I will go to my text box here. Then I make sure that I change the font style to Adobe Cartesian Pro. So this is what we are going to use for our tutorial. Then I will just change it to bold, something like this. Very nice and beautiful. So I will just type this like this. Then I'll hold on Ctrl+J and duplicate my text. Then I will select the duplicate one. Then I will type agency, something like this. Very nice and beautiful. Then I will select the agency and go to my text box again. By this time, I will reduce the text height to 77, something like this. Then I will just place it at the top of the tourism. So I can reduce it a little bit like this. Very nice and cool. And I can also increase the size of the tourism so that it will be quite bold enough. I think something like this is very cool and beautiful. So I'll make sure that they are aligned in the center. Then I will continue and duplicate the agency. I will select the duplicate one. Now I will type in capital the agency name, Sunshine Agency, something like this. Then I will select it. This time I will change it to regular. Then I will get an effect like this. Then I will resize it to a size like this. Then I will just place it on top of the agency, so we will get something like this, very beautiful and nice. Very beautiful and very nice. So now after I'm done with this, I want to add some effect to the tourism. So I will select the tourism and go to my effects panel. I will add some strokes to the effects. Very nice. Then I will go on and add some strokes to the effects. So I will just increase the size of the shadow so that it will appear more beautiful and nice. So this is what actually I want to create, very nice and attractive. So I will select the agency and give it a color like this. I think something like this is cool and beautiful, very cool and beautiful. Then I'll go on and select my sunshine and give it the same color like this. So now after I'm done with this, I will just go on and be importing my resources. So I'll go to my file again, place link. Then I'll bring this link here, this aeroplane. Then I'll resize it to a size like this. Something like this is very beautiful. I'll just place it just under the tourism. Then you will get something like this. So now after I'm done with this, I will just go on and be importing my resources. So I'll go to place link again and bring this clouds here. So I will just resize the clouds and push it at the top of the flyer, something like this. Then I'll make sure that I reduce the opacity of the cloud to some level like this. Then I'll select it, Ctrl J, and duplicate it once more, and I'll make something like this, very beautiful. After I'm done with this, I'll go to my place link again, and this time I'll bring a resources like this, a bird flying in the sky, so that we will create something like this, very nice and very beautiful. So now after we are done with this, we will still go on and be importing our resources. So I will just go to my file again and go to place link. Then I'll bring this link here, a parrot, something like this. Then I'll just place it here to create an effect like this here, very nice and very beautiful. So now after we have done with this, I will just go on and create some rectangular boxes just under the aeroplane. So I will just create this rectangular boxes, something like this, very nice and beautiful. Then Ctrl plus J, I will duplicate the rectangle. Then I will duplicate it again, Ctrl plus J again, and I will increase the middle one to a size like this. But I will select the first rectangle and go to the properties. Then I will just create an effect. I will just move the size to about something like 33, or let me increase it to 51, something like this. It's cool. Then I will do the same thing to this one. So I will just move it to 51, or I can just type it inside 51. Very nice and beautiful. Then I will select the middle one and do the same thing to it. So I can just go on and type it inside 51. 51. Okay, if 52 is normal, so this is what I want to create, something like this. So now after I'm done with this, I will go on and bring some items here. So I'll go to my place link and I'll start importing my resources. So I will import these resources, then I make sure that this item is selected. I will just put these resources on it, then I just hit on the image and go to my clipping mask so that it will just be on this rectangle only, something like this. Then I'll go on to file again and go to place link, and I'll bring this one to here. I reduce it, then I make sure I see, or I just hit on this rectangle to know where it is actually is. Then I'll place this one just on top of it, then I will drag this one on and create a clipping mask on it so that it will also be on this one alone, something like this, very beautiful and nice. So for the last time, I'll go again, place link, then I'll bring this one to here. For the last big box or the last big rectangle here, I'll select it and know where it is, and then I'll pull it on top. Then I'll a clipping mask on this so that we get something like this, very beautiful and very attractive. So I can reduce the size to how I want it to be. I think something like this is cool, and I think something like this is cool and very beautiful. So now after I'm done with this, I will just make sure that everything is just at the right place. So I will just be moving the rectangles a little bit so that everything will be nice and beautiful. So I can just create a little effect on the rectangle. So I will just select the rectangle and be creating strokes to the rectangle. So I will just hit on the image, then I hit the rectangle and create my strokes. Something like this is very beautiful and awesome. Then I will create these strokes on it. So now after I'm done, I think the spaces are so close, so I can just be spacing it a little bit so that we get some little spaces to make it more beautiful. I think something like this is cool and beautiful. Then so after this, I'll make sure that they are in right alignment. So I'll just hit on this one, then I will just drag mine to the last rectangle, then I will just push it them a little bit so that they will be at the center of the flyer. So I think now they are in the center of the flyer. Something like this is very cool. So now after we are done with this, I will just go on and be importing another resource. So I'll just go to my file and go to my place link here, and I'll bring this label here, something like this here. Then I'll just push it at the top of the flyer. Something like this is very beautiful. So after I'm done with this, I will just go on and create a test on it. So I will just type something like 50%, something like this. I will select it. I make sure that the color is something like this, or you can make it black or a very deep brown color. then I'll just resize it and put it on the flyer, or I'll put it on the label here. So I can go on and type something like off, OFF. Then I will select it. I will just reduce the text height to 77, something like this, and make sure that it is just on regular this time. Then I will just reduce the size to something like this, and I will just place it just under 50% to create an effect like this there. So now after I'm done, so I'll go on to my files once more time and bring this label once again here. I'll reduce it to a size like this, then I'll just place it here. So after I'm done with this, let me increase the size a little bit, something like this. After I'm done with this, I will select the label and create a hue on it. So I click on this thing so that I make sure that the hue is only on the label. So I just want to pick a red color. Something like a red color. I think something like this is very cool. So I'll just stop here and pick a color like this. So I'll select the hue. This is the hue, and hold on shift and select the image. Then I will just right click it and I will just convert it to smart objects so that it will become a smart object for me. Then I just hold on Ctrl J to duplicate it so that I'll bring one here, then I'll bring another one here, something like this. This is what I want to create. So after I'm done with this, I will just go on and type something like 50. I'll make sure that this time the font is Roboto. I'll just type 50, then I'll place the dollar sign on it, and I'll make sure that they are a little bit medium. Then I pick my white color here, then I reduce the size of it to an extent like this. Then I'll just place on it something like this, very cool and beautiful. So I'll go on and duplicate it to here. By this time I will change the amount to maybe 70. Very nice and beautiful. Then I will still be moving it. I'll place this one here. Then this time I will change the amount to something like 80. Very nice and very awesome. So now after I'm done with this, I'll just go to my file once again, and then I'll bring this resource here, flying butterflies. I'll reduce it to a size like this, then I'll just bring them here. Very awesome and very beautiful. Now it has left for us to add the contacts of the agency. So I will just create a text box here, and I will just type for more info, then I will select it and make sure that I reduce the size to something like this, and I'll just place it just under something like this. And let me change the text to something like a black, a deep blue color. I think that will be very cool. So after I'm done with this, I will just go on and type the agency number to the down of the flyer. So I will just type the number 0, any number like this. Then I'll select the number and make sure that they are white older, something like this is very cool. Then I'll reduce it a little bit and just place it just under the flyer. very cool and very beautiful. So now after I'm done with this, I can still adjust the spaces of the flyer. So I can push the sunshine a little bit upward and push the agency a little bit upward, and I can put the tourism a little bit upward like this. Then I can put the airplane a little bit upward like this. Then I can also select my resources here and push them a little bit upward, something like this. Then I will just push them upward like this, so that I will have some spaces at the down of the flyer, something like this is very cool. Then I just push the butterfly a little bit upward. Very cool and very beautiful. So now after I'm done with this, I can also change the position of this one and place them at the top here, so that we get some spaces at the down of the flyer. So I will just change the positions, something like this is very cool. Or I can still place them at the middle of it. Anyhow you want it, you can do it. So I think this one will be more cool and more beautiful. So I will just place them at the middle of the flyer. Something like this is very nice. So I will just place this here, so that we get enough spaces at the down of the flyer. So now after I'm done with this, I just want to create some shadows at the down of the flyer. So I'll just create a new layer here, then go to my brushes. So I will take a brush like this. So I will just increase the size of the brush to 380. Then I will just come to my flyer one more time. So I will just drag my layer down to the down of the flyer, something here. So I will just bring it at the layers, the down of the layer, something like this. Then I will just be creating shadows on the flyer, something like this. So I will tilt it once again to something like 10. So I can just tilt it to 10. I think this is cool. Then I create this shadow here, very nice and beautiful. So I will do the same thing to this one. I'll just change it to about 10 or 13 thereabout. Then I'll create another one more time. I will just be doing it again at this place too. Then I will just tilt the angle one again, something like this is very cool. Then I'll create this effect here. So now the flyer is now looking very, very awesome and very, very beautiful. So now it has left with one thing that we have to do to finish the flyer. So I will just select the first resource that we place it inside, the first resource that we place. Then I'll add some curves to that resource. So I'll just push this thing a little bit downwards, so that we will get something like this, very beautiful and very nice. So this is now how our flyer is looking like, very awesome and very beautiful. So I can still go on and make sure that my tests are in alignment, something like this is very cool and beautiful. So you can still go on and arrange things so that everything will be good on the flyer. So actually we are done with the flyer, but I just want to adjust the text of the flyer. So this is what I wanted it to be. So this is actually the end of the flyer. Now the flyer is looking more beautiful and attractive, and I've placed all the links just below the description. You can go on and download the resources and do something similar like this, or you can create something more beautiful and more attractive. And if you have any difficulty, you can DM me for anything that you want. So this is the end of the flyer. Thank you for your partnership with me, and I hope to see you another time. This is the end of the flyer. Goodbye. God bless you.